hero.
Is it white guilt? I don't know.
And white guilt is so disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like I'm not a coon, so please don't call me a coon. But what I'm saying is
Me?
white guilt is disgusting. No, just like if someone's watching, white guilt is disgusting because white people don't know how to act. Like you grew up around black people, so you never like if you catch a white person at the wrong time in the wrong place, they'll fucking shudder when they see you as a black person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's interesting. White guilt bothers me because I had something happen at work recently, and so one of my colleagues was like, I support you, and I honestly wanted to write back, I could give a shit about your support. You know what I need? I need you to understand where I'm coming from. My entire life, I've had to learn white culture. I've had to watch white movies. I've had to learn white history. I know enough about white people that you could be talking about something that's culturally white and I can speak on it with a semi level of authority, right? And I'm not saying you in particular because you are a different case, but if the roles were reversed, right? You see white people making fools of themselves all the time trying to comment on black things.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to learn it the way I had to learn white culture.
It's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like they're exposed to it late in life almost. Like
Absolutely. Or some of them never exposed
or
at
never,
all. If you're
like
from
they're sheltered.
Idaho or Idaho, you don't know what the fuck black culture is.
Yeah.
The thing that I want people to understand is I don't give a shit about your support because it's unfounded. You don't know me.
Do you think other black folks do care though?
From my experience, black people don't really.
Not really, right?
No, what we want is for you to understand that your culture, first of all, a lot of culture in America is black people are
music,
American
and sports,
culture,
dude.
right?
Dude, we look up to you.
But the thing that people need to understand is you actively do not learn black culture. If you grew up spending so much time learning about Martin Luther King, not just that, jazz music, how rock was derived from I want to say old school, like, so if you learn about how critical, and I'm not saying black people built America, but I'm just saying we also are instrumental. So learn about our music, our history, our culture, our art, our paintings, our writers. We will never have things like I'm uncomfortable around black people.
Yeah, maybe
you'll stop seeing them as black people. They're American, and if you learn American culture, which includes those things,
which includes African,
you would stop seeing. Obviously, you'd see black and white because you have eyes. But you would say,
I see what you're saying.
What's part of my culture? We had Paul Revere, we had George Washington. Then we all said Sammy. I was gonna say Sammy Davis Jr. We had Ray Charles, right? And how Ray Charles. We had Stevie Wonder. We had
Harriet Tubman.
Those are the big ones. The big ones we all know about. I'm talking about the people who shaped modern culture, right? And not the big people. We had Ta-Nehisi, right? We had all these other black people that shaped our, and we don't know, we teach poorly our history. And because of that, we create lasting divides. You know a lot about hip hop and rap music because you grew up, you had black friends. So when you think about the culture of America, you don't go, that's black history and then that's history. Because that's what people say. There's history, then there's black history. But black history is a part of history. Right?
You're absolutely right, man.
I don't give a
I really think that's accurate. I think kind of going back to what you were saying about like, well, if you grew up in Iowa, you also do need to recognize like there are people that don't grow up seeing any black people at all. I have a friend from Idaho that didn't see his first black person in person until college.
But think about this. The reverse is true as well.
Yeah.
But we still have to read history books in school.
No, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, I can't put myself in their shoes, and neither can you because of where we grew up. But I'm saying, like, could you imagine maybe seeing someone that you've never seen this type of person before, and because you don't understand them, you stumble a bit, like you don't quite. I met an Australian girl who is Sri Lankan by ethnicity. And she spoke in an Aussie accent. And I was so confused because I don't know if her culture, like if her cultural upbringing was Australian or if it was Sri Lankan. And like it honestly just like confused me. Like it made me stumble.
It could be both.
It could be both, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah, I mean, let's flesh it out. Like, let's
imagine a white guy who's seeing a black guy for the first time in his life. Maybe he understands it. Like, maybe he's studied it, but like, still, the first couple interactions might be a little awkward.
Let me ask you this: what is keeping you from treating that first black you've ever seen? What is keeping you from treating him just like any other white?
I don't know. I mean, imagine like trying to relate, like what commonality do you have with that person? Maybe in your
besides
head,
skin color, what's the difference?
Listen, what I'm saying is like, you know, when you're trying to find common ground with somebody,
yeah.
Sometimes you default to like, well, what do I know about this person's culture that maybe I could speak about?
Fair.
So like, what if his first thing is like, do you watch basketball? And you might be like, dude,
come on, dog.
Like, are you serious? Like, like that's the first thing you're gonna think about.
Yeah.
But to him, he's like, well, I don't know what else to talk about. Like, if I talk about like my hometown, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Or like if I talk about my family, you might be like, well, I don't know who your family is, you know?
Yeah.
So like, what else are you gonna talk about? The weather? You know,
I don't know. You make a good point. You make a good point. And I'm
again, we haven't been in these people's shoes. I'm speculating, but
and I would love to have someone like that on the show because it really opened my eyes. Because in my mind, and we grew up in very multicultural places. That's why it's like if I met someone, I never went Asian. Let me try to speak fucking Chinese. You know what I mean? Like whenever I see someone, I'm like. That's a human being. That's a silo. Let's go investigate what's up with that person.
Right.
But I guess there would be some type of. It's very hard to me to imagine. I've never looked at someone.
Imagine being a Russian.
Yeah.
What do you think you're gonna talk about with them? Like right off the bat. Russian things. Don't you think so? You probably make some jokes about vodka and about how fucking cold it is up there and how crazy they are.
I'll give you exactly what I talk about. I'll be like, I know in my heart, this is what I say. I'll be like, it's cold as a motherfucker up there.
Right?
That's absolutely what I'll say. But I feel like that one is, you're right. That's based off what I know.
You're saying it in a joking way where you think they're going to take it lightly. Yeah. Imagine being kind of an awkward person though. Or
and try to deliver that.
Yeah. And just like, oh, it's cold up there, isn't it? And they're like,
Yeah, das ist cold.
Yeah.
That's the wrong place. That's German. It's very cold.
You feel what you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm
saying. In Siberia, we hug our mother all winter long.
Yeah,
But you're.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't. Yeah, I'm just, now that you say it, I'm trying to think in my head.
Yeah.
When I see like an Asian, do I go
default to something
like?
Asian? I don't know.
But the thing is.
Maybe default to hating on white people together. Maybe. I don't know.
No. I think what happens to me is because of how I am, tying back to what we talked about, I don't go out much. So if I'm out, it's purposeful. Yeah. So like I met my really good friend Josh at a bike shop. So we're going to talk about bikes. You get what I mean? Bikes. I meet a lot of my friends on the soccer field. So we're going to talk about soccer. Right? I meet people in purposeful places. So
where there's commonality, where there's common ground.
Exactly. So I think the reason why I have a hard time answering that question is because I don't have to start with what do I know about your culture. I can start with the thing that we're collectively doing.
Sure.
And that's what helps me. Like
I'm just saying, imagine meeting someone from a different culture, like a fucking foreigner that's here in this country.
Yeah.
What else are you going to talk about besides their culture?
And that's and you're absolutely right. I think for me, I'm asking myself, well, I don't go around willy-nilly, so I'm going to meet this at a like you're talking about, I go to bars, I go to, you know what I mean? So you're like, well, if I meet someone at the bar, I'm going to talk about that. But for me, I do purpose-built things. So I'm always going to be talking about the thing that we're doing. And then I'll be like, hey man, where are you from?
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, you know what I mean? Then
Yeah,
I'll be like, oh, that place seems cool. I always ask people where they're from.
Yeah.
Because it's
Great
always a good,
conversation
it's just a great, nobody's
offended by that ever.
Yeah, no one's ever asked.
Well,
like,
actually,
fuck you want to know, nigga.
Honestly, though, some people could be offended by that. Like a white guy asking like a fucking Asian, like, sorry, it's fucking Asian. Sorry.
These fucking Asians.
I didn't mean it like that. I was thinking and I used fucking instead of the word
These Asian motherfuckers. I love that joke.
Yeah,
so
Bill
much.
Burr's joke. Yeah. I know. No, but I'm saying like some. All right, whatever. You get the point. I'm taking myself in a fucking hole right
now. I think it's just I think it's super interesting how just the way life is panned out, where we have all these weird, intricate rules.